Okay, guys, this is going to be my review for the movie Mystic River. Mystic River, I loved. I just thought the film was just so riveting and so interesting, and it really grasped my attention. And showing how their past affects their future, and learning three completely different characters who used to be friends, and living in this town, and the mystery is great too because there are so many like bait and switches. There's so many moments where you're like, I think that guy's the murderer, or that guy's the murderer, and there's so many different suspects who have great um reason to have murders and don't have alibis, and it's interesting. And I think that's the story. It's a great mystery with great performances, Oscar-winning performances from both Tim Robbins and Sean Penn. Both got the Oscar for acting. Totally deserving. Turn it on. You could really feel the emotion of it all, and it was just learning about these characters through this investigation, because that's really what we do. We learn about who these characters are through the duration of this very thrilling and interesting movie, where it's just like you wanted to see what happened next, and what happened next gave you chills because it was like constantly the progression of the story as it gets more and more tense and tense and tense. And you think it's one thing, you realize it's another, and you see, like, at the end of the day, it's the little things that trip it up, and these are not the good guy versus bad guy. This is a bunch of gray area guys, a gray area cop, a gray area you know um, family member, and what's the name? Jimmy. And seeing the backstory with David and all he's been through to make him go crazy, and you got it was it was it it wasn't it was oh God, it was Dean. It was Jimmy, David, and God. Yeah, I'm blanking. But yeah, it was just, for me personally, a very riveting, thrilling, interesting story with great, directing by Clint Eastwood, a great script, and it's just a story that it never ceases to give up. Like, you you see as the investigation goes on and on, it becomes less about the investigation and more about these characters and how they deal with the events that transpire. Three friends who are completely different, who all have motivation towards this case, that all have different perspectives towards the events of one night. But it's not just that murder; it's the events of one night, and I think it's these little details that set up in the beginning, like he comes home bloody, and it turns out he wasn't the murderer, and it was just like all these different routes and paths this movie takes that were just like, wow, that's crazy. That made it interesting and exciting for me. Anyway, stay tuned for more videos coming right at you.